Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm KandyCorpse, you can call me Kay, and today I'm going to be reacting to the subreddit r/confession. So this one is super simple. It's exactly what it sounds like. The description literally just says you admit your wrongdoings, acknowledge your guilt, and alleviate your conscience. This is a huge subreddit. It has 8.2 million members, and not to be punny, but I also have a confession. I'm stupid, sorry. I tried to film this a few days ago and then accidentally deleted the footage before I had a chance to back it up or move it somewhere, move it to my editing app, anything like that. So because I've already done some, I'm going to be reading a couple more, and I'm either going to stop when I get to a story that makes me uncomfortable and makes me want to vomit, or I'm going to stop when my mom texts me because I'm going to be picking her up from where she's at and dropping her off home, since I gotta grab something from my parents' house anyway. So whichever comes first will depend on how long this video is. So right off the bat, starting with this first story, it's titled, "I Made a Girl Quit School and It Still Haunts Me to This Day." Back in 6th grade, I went to school with a girl who was slower compared to the rest of us. Like, she had difficulty learning and reading, and her performance during exams was below average. Once we had to submit our notes for correction and mine were incomplete, out of fear, I said that the girl had borrowed my notes but was absent that day, when in fact she hadn't. The next day, when she heard of it, she screamed at me and said I lied. I, being the little twerp I was, started crying and acted like the victim. Everyone took my side for whatever reason. For the next week or so, she got a lot of shit for stealing my notes. Both the teachers and students ignored and dissed her. Why? That doesn't even make sense why they would do that. I went to public school, so I believe it, but it just doesn't make sense. After a while, she left the school and got held back a year. It's been 7 years since the incident. I never saw her, talk to her again. I just wish I had the chance to apologize for what I did before she went away. Fuck you, you deserve to feel bad. And honestly, so does everyone else. It's giving a silent voice, but with a different disability, and you're fucking wrong for that, and you should feel bad. So this one is titled, "I faked epilepsy, but it turned out that I did actually have epilepsy." Okay, so first of all, were you faking it, or were you just like not sure what was going on, so that's just the theory you came up with? Weird one. When I was a kid, probably about 13 or so, I was awful in school. I had bad grades because I mucked about so much. I was diagnosed with ADHD. Eventually the teachers pulled me and my parents in, and basically, in short, just said I was a shit show at school and they wanted to know why. I didn't want to tell my parents that it was because I spent all my time messing around, so I made up some bullshit about having spells where I just blacked out and couldn't remember anything. I think I'd actually just seen an episode of Casualty where someone was having absent seizures, so I probably just thought that would fit. Looking back, obviously I know this was a very wrong thing to do, but in a way it probably saved my life. My parents took me to the doctor about these blackouts, and I remember I was absolutely shitting it, because I knew my parents would be finding out I lied as soon as I got the test. They definitely knew I was lying already, but it turned out on the EEG, I actually did have bursts of seizure activity when I hyperventilated. The MRI also showed something in the brain that is harmless, but it's a common feature in epilepsy patients. So when all the tests came back, I was absolutely in shock, but I remember I was actually buzzing that I did have epilepsy because my parents wouldn't find out I lied. I was having blackouts, I just didn't know I was having them, and when I couldn't remember stuff, I just put it down to the ADHD. I got put on medication and got extra time on all my tests, so for 13-year-old me, having an epilepsy diagnosis was a big win. Now at 20, I know that it really is not a big win. Epilepsy is horrible and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I'm lucky to only have focal seizures, but even they are difficult to deal with. Anyway, lucky me. That's crazy. Like, to know, just randomly be like, oh yeah, like I just black out. I lied about going abroad and lost all my friends. let's see how big the lie is. Let's see if you deserve to lose your friends. Like, what kind of lie was it? I was in my last year of high school in 2022, and before graduation, I really wanted to study abroad. I told all my friends I was going to go abroad the next year, fully knowing I didn't have a passport or any visa. I was broke too. My family lives from hand to mouth. I was in boarding school, so no one knew my background and where I lived, so I would go to school with my things my dad brought me. He was well off, but separated from my mom. He would only pay for my shopping though, so I was viewed as a well-off person. After graduation, my friends would ask me when I was gonna go, and I would tell them I was waiting on my visa to be approved. I even went to the offices and took a photo outside to provide proof. I decided to ghost everyone after some months and act like I was already out of the country. I changed my number and socials and left no trace of me anywhere. I regret doing all of that because I was left with 0 friends. Now I have my passport, but I'm always afraid that I'll go nowhere with it because of my lying. Edit, I'm 18 right now. I made new friends too that live in the same place as I live, and I showed them this. They told me it was okay and to be honest with them anytime. They're really nice, and I feel like they have my back. Thanks for all the comments, guys. I saw all of them, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so it was just like, so the reason that OP lost their friends was because they intentionally stopped talking to them. Like, I get that you're like, oh, I lied, like, what are they gonna think? But like, if you didn't try to reach out, then you're not gonna know if they actually like didn't want to be your friend. They probably think that you ghosted them because that's exactly what you did. That's probably, they may not have even known that you ever lied unless you said something, or like in this case, just ghosted them. They probably like figure that much out on their own by now. I broke a large glass door at the airport and nobody noticed. How could nobody notice? Like, genuinely, there's cameras. I'm sure they saw who did it. I was the last person getting off the plane, and the wheels of my carry-on got stuck in the gap between the plane and the floor of the loading bridge. Oh, so maybe, well, I don't know. Would there be cameras there? I feel like there should be if there isn't. I didn't even bother looking behind me to pull it out because I was in a hurry, so I just yanked harder. Apparently, I yanked too hard because once it was free, I heard a large crack. I looked behind me, and the back wheel, I had hit a very large glass door next to me. It was still intact, but very much shattered. I just maintained a completely neutral face and calmly caught up with my boyfriend to catch our connecting flight. Nobody saw it happen and nobody went after me. And this is the first time I've acknowledged it in any way, shape, or form since this happened. This was around December, so I feel it's been long enough to come clean. This was 4 days ago, so this was December of 2023 when she did this. Told people I got hit by a car, but I actually ran myself over. Girl, how the fuck did you do that? Here we go. I was out to dinner with my friends, and one of them asked for an Adderall. I kept it in my car, so I excused myself and went out to the parking lot. Girl, why are you... This story is already, okay, there's already too much going on. Why? First of all, you ran yourself over. You're giving people like, who the fuck? Okay. I'd already been drinking as we'd gone to the winery first, and I was still having wine. I get in the car, open the bottle to get one, spilled the bottle everywhere, including on the asphalt. The car door was open because I expected to quickly be in and out. The parking lot had no light, so I decided to turn my car on and back up a little, then use the headlights to find the pills. Oh my god. I'm just like, I'm having a whole... The police, y'all hear that? They know. My phone was inside and I was drunk, so this made sense to me at the time. Girl, I can't. I put the car in park, found out very quickly I'd actually left it in neutral, and then I go to the ground to look for the pills. There's no way this is real. Actually, I would believe it. Car started rolling back, and I get up to chase after it. It looked like a scene from Mr. Bean's Holiday. I get around the door and manage to put one foot in. I'm trying to stomp the brake when I somehow tumble out of the car and end up underneath it. My 2,900-pound SUV rolled over the back of my left leg. I was so drunk that I hadn't even processed what just happened. I got back up to keep chasing after. It slowly backed into another vehicle and finally stopped. Nobody was outside or saw me. I drove to a different parking spot and went inside and told my friends we needed to get the check. They said I looked disheveled and asked me what happened. I said someone hit me with their car and they demanded security footage to find out who did this to you. Luckily, there is none, and they don't know that I'm both the victim and the main suspect in my own hit and run. Before you ask, yes, the next day I went to the ER to get checked out. No broken bones, but I did get a bad muscle injury. So the doctor ordered CPK levels, which were double what they should be. And he also thinks I should press charges on whoever ran me over. Girl, that's crazy. All right, so that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. That is going to be all the confessions that I read for now. But if you guys want to listen to me react to more confessions, or if you have any of your own you want to leave in the comments, go ahead and do that. And I also have my tell, so you guys can like post confessions on there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.